Today, beef shanks, oscobuco style. Get a not non-stick pan, nice and hot, and we're going to brown them. Little olive oil in our hot pan. See the oil dance? This is good. I turn that down a little. They're starting to brown nice. I want a really nice deep color, so they need to go a little more. I don't know if you can see, but we're starting to get some really nice color on them. That's what we want. It develops a lot of flavor, I think. So that's pretty much where I want them. A nice deep brown. The other one's in the pressure cooker already. Not cooking, but just hanging out. Into the pan where we browned the meat goes 1 carrot, 1 medium onion, 1 stick of celery, and some chopped up mushrooms if you have them. We're going to sweat them all down in there. I'll deglaze that too a little bit until they're pretty soft, because I'm going to use a hand blender on them later to finish the gravy. Veggies in the pan. Veggies are starting to sweat down. I'll let them brown a little bit too. I think that adds a lot to the gravy. So it's cooking down nice. I'm going to throw in 4 whole cloves of garlic and let them brown up a little bit. They get a roasted garlic taste without roasting the garlic. Do it like that. And this is just about done. Okay, veggies are cooked. Now we're going to deglaze the pan with some red wine and let that reduce. A little bit of wine. That should be good. So now you see I have tomato sauce heating up in the same pan that I reduced the wine and simmered the vegetables in. Into that very shortly we're going to add some herbs and spices and stuff. A sprig of thyme, a sprig of rosemary, 4 nice pieces of orange peel, some bay leaf, tiny bit of cinnamon, a juniper berry mashed, a clove mashed, some Coleman's dry mustard, about a teaspoon of Mrs. Dash, about a teaspoon of Italian dried herb mix, about a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, some granulated garlic. Also add a little gravy master and my secret ingredient. So let's go ahead and dump this in tomatoes now. That's 1 can of just crushed tomato. And dump all that in. Let it seep a little bit. You can smell the cinnamon now, but when it cooks, you won't hardly tell what it is. It's just the taste of something. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to put in some gravy master, because that's a little better than a teaspoon. And someone will say at this point, you didn't add any salt. Well, here's where the salt comes from. Monitor's beef paste or instant beef broth. I put a decent sized spoonful, well, that's a teaspoon, of that in there. So that'll add our salt and boost our beefiness. I don't know if you can see in there really well, but all my stuff's in there, and I added some water to cover. You won't get a lot of evaporation out of the pressure cooker, so the liquid you have is the liquid you have. It really won't go away much. Okay, everything in the pressure cooker set for 95 minutes. I'm going to clean up the kitchen a little bit. We'll make a little gremolata and do the gravy. I'll get back to you. 95 minutes later, or a little longer because you have to wait for it to cool off to release it. The meat's all tender and full off the bone. Got a big pot of gravy that I'm going to strain and defat. And then we'll make up the gravy the rest of the way. Add some finishing touches. But I think we're going to like it. The gravy, I guess you really can't call it gravy yet. It's the juice. Poured into a sieve. We'll strain it out. And mash those vegetables down through the sieve. The fat's separated out with my handy dandy little fat separator thing. I've got a bunch of mushy vegetables there that I'll incorporate with my little hand blender in a minute. And a big pot of gravy. And it tastes good too. So that's my gravy on the stove. Use my little stick blender thing to whiz it all in. I don't think it's salty enough, so I'm going to add a little more beef base. And I think another drop of Gravy Master. I added the things I was talking about, also a little bit more garlic. And my orange didn't come through enough for me, so I'm going to add a little bit of orange juice in there. Because I don't want it to be overpowering orangey, but I want a little citrus taste. And we'll see how that goes. Still recording. So that's pretty much that. There's the pot full of gravy and meat. I'm going to put it in that big Tupper tub and put it in the refrigerator because, like anything that's braised, I think it tastes better the next day after it sits. It'll also release some of the fat, come to the top, and I can skim that off too, make it a little lower fat. And tomorrow I'll make the gremolata. And that's about it. I also did two sides. I have Swiss chard, just sauteed with some olive oil, garlic, and a tiny touch of nutmeg. And Savoy cabbage, I think that's the right name, the wavy cabbage, with a little bit of carrot and mushroom. Of course, garlic is in there too. And that's about all I put into that.